Hi, my name is Chris Brennan, and I'm doing interviews today from the United Astrology Conference, and I'm talking to different astrologers who are attending to just get a sense for who's at the conference and what's going on in the astrological field today. So, joining me today is Spencer Michaud.
Yes.
And you're actually the winner of the AFAN conference scholarship, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so how did that go, or what was the process of winning the scholarship?
Yeah, so I learned about the scholarship from your podcast.
Okay.
So it was a fortuitous thing. I've been kind of binge listening to the astrology podcast and learned about AFAN and about what to do at a conference and how to get there. And
How long have you been studying astrology?
I've been studying modern astrology for about 15 years.
Okay.
And last summer, I was gifted a copy of Astrology and the Authentic Self by Demetra George.
Yeah.
So that sent me down a traditional path, and that actually led me to your podcast and to works of Benjamin Dykes and Rob Hand's work and Project Hindsight and whatnot. So I've just been kind of absorbing the traditional path and trying to find a way to communicate those ideas, in a humane way, in a way that is empowering and sensitive.
Right.
That's kind of my mission.
Brilliant.
But I love the techniques, though. I think the techniques are completely changed the way I view astrology and life. It's really changed my personal philosophy of life.
Sure. So you heard about the AFAN scholarships on the Astrology podcast, and you applied for one and you won.
Yes.
When did you get the news?
I think a couple months ago. I think I got I won the full $700 scholarship.
Okay.
So they paid for my whole conference ticket and for 2 workshops basically. So I just got done with Rob Hand's pre-conference workshop on difficult chart placements, and I'm going to be doing your annual perfections post-conference workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I got word from Christy Hall, the treasurer at AFAN, and just worked it all out. I've been volunteering at their booth, trying to help spread the message. Had a pretty whirlwind first day yesterday. Which
You met a lot of people?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I started out on a roundtable discussion with you and Lisa Scheim, and who else was on that?
So that was the roundtable discussion for AFAN, talking about how to start or maintain or improve a local astrology group.
Right. Because I teach classes in my local area, and I've been trying to transition into getting more people together as a community as well in my area. Mm-hmm. There's a group in Detroit, but we're looking for more opportunities for young people in our area as well. And I met. So then after that, I went to a panel discussion on your favorite title, which is prediction destroying astrology?
Is prediction killing astrology?
Killing astrology.
Yeah,
right.
We had to.
Killing astrology.
Destroying would almost be a little too abstract.
Right.
It has to be killing or murdering would have been better.
Which, like you pointed out, was a weird title because pretty much all of astrology is essentially predictive, right?
Yeah, I mean that was my opening statement was a little crass. I said that it was a stupid title, which is what everybody has said to me when I mention it. But it's because my argument was that astrology is inherently predictive. So it's like saying, is astrology killing astrology?
Right.
Yeah.
You were bringing the Mars role.
Right.
You came out guns blazing. It was great though. You were a nice counterbalance to some of the other folks on the panel. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was I think we had Stephen Forrest on the panel, Rick Levine, Samuel Reynolds, an astrologer from England that I couldn't remember.
Christine Skinner.
Christine Skinner, and then the nice young lady who's experiencing her Uranus return this year. What is her name?
Chris McRae.
There you go. So heavy hitters for sure, and it was very informative. And I think that you sparked a lot of great discussions, especially regarding the election panel that came up, because that was a big topic of some controversy. But it's nice that it was brought out in the open, and it's nice to kind of air all those things out and come to some kind of consensus that we can in the community.
Sure.
Because we're all friends, I think, at the end of the day, because we're trying to move forward astrology in general. Mm-hmm. And I think that panel definitely was really great for furthering that message.
Sure.
And, this only at AFAN can you walk down the hall and you're, I don't know, not to be crass, but you're peeing in a stall 2 stalls down from Stephen Forrest, and you're like, hey, Steve, so it's mind blowing. And I just in my workshop with Rob Hand, it was about difficult chart placements. He was asking for volunteers for to read charts, and I was one of like the 5 people that he called on to read my chart, and that was very enlightening. And
wow, so you not only like met Rob Hand, and
yeah.
I think you got like a selfie with him,
I did.
right?
I got a picture of Rob Hand.
Right,
yeah.
but you actually sat in on his workshop, and
yeah.
he used your chart or read your chart as an example in
yes.
the workshop.
And we talked a little bit about transitioning. I was a professional musician for a long time. I mean, still am, and I teach music. But we talked a little bit about transitioning to being an astrologer, and he gave me the thumbs up on that. So that's always nice when you got Rob Hand's endorsement to pursue the career of astrology. I think it doesn't get much better than that. But
yeah, if there was like a pope or some similar figure
right.
in astrology, like Rob Hand would be.
He did one of these on me,
right.
like I was just like, oh, okay, I've been baptized. So that was fun. Yeah, and you meet a lot of people in the lobby. I met Kelly Surtees in the lobby last night. Barry Perlman of Astroberry, which was pretty cool. A number of other wonderful people. It's a real blessing to be here. I'm really excited.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I think your timing was good because this is like a ramping up because you did the pre-conferences yesterday. We have the opening tonight,
right.
and then tomorrow everything just goes crazy when the full sessions begin in the morning.
Absolutely. I think coming early is really important to things like this. I think that you can get a lot more of a kind of a personal touch when you come early because, I mean, I'm assuming that tomorrow, like for example, even with just you, there's going to be people just like coming up to you all over. And it's a lot easier to create those personal relationships because a lot of the astrologers will come in early and you can just kind of chat with them and start to establish the types of relationships that is one of the primary reasons for coming to a conference like this. I mean, the lectures are nice and you learn a lot, but I think that what I'm really enjoying is making friends and having a community and just getting to know people, not just from their teaching styles, but on a personal level too. I mean, I like to kind of connect on that level.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I always try to pitch, but it's such a hard thing to explain if somebody's never been to a conference. But as soon as you get to one and start making some of those connections, it becomes evident like why it's actually important to meet people in person and to build those sorts of connections.
Oh yeah, it's totally different. I mean, people have their public professional personas, and sometimes it merges fairly well with their personal persona, but oftentimes we get, we only show a tiny fraction of ourselves to people when we're, on camera and we're like, oh, we've got to do this correctly. And I think that when you get to talk to someone and get in depth and share a meal, like it's something.
We went out to an Indian restaurant last night with like a group of astrologers. So it's like probably your first time sitting at a meal with a group of astrologers.
Yes,
right?
I mean, how lucky am I? Like I feel like I'm the belle of the ball, right now because I got to have dinner with you and Lisa and Sam on my first day here at my first conference ever.
Right.
And Rob Hand did my chart the next day. It's just. I don't know. It's wonderful.
That is a good start to the conference.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to check in with you again towards the end and see what your experience has been by that point, because we've still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, I've got to pace myself. I think that's another little advice I would have for people is you might feel like you have to be on all the time, but it's very important to get enough sleep, get enough food, try to take some quiet time every once in a while too. I mean, you want to talk all the time, but I think that you have to balance that out with, creating some space for silence and just space in general to absorb the things that you've been taking in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I didn't get enough sleep a couple days ago and felt the difference between yesterday and today, and realizing it is important to stay balanced for a marathon conference like this, especially one like this. It's like a week and a half.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks a lot for talking to me today.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning the scholarship and attending your first conference.
My pleasure.
Do you have a website, or where can people find more information about you?
Yeah, I have a website that's being transitioned from my music to astrology to include both, and it's spencermichaud.com, M-I-C-H-A-U-D.
Okay.
And you can just I've been starting to write articles on there too, and teach some classes and do some consultations. So
cool. Well, I'll put a link to your website in the description for this video on YouTube, so people can find out more information there. And thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right.